To get better at anything, we have to practice. It turns out, though, that how much better we get and how fast we get there depends on the type of practice. When it comes to tutoring, when we have the opportunity to work alongside a learner and focus in on a very specific piece of content, a specific skill or a specific understanding, we want to make sure that the learner has the opportunity to engage in something called deliberate practice. Deliberate practice occurs when the learner is involved in a task or an experience that takes them just outside their comfort zone. They're not quite ready to read that yet. That problem is particularly hard to solve. That particular concept isn't as easily grasped as others. It puts them in a situation where they're engaged in content, skills, and understandings just outside their comfort zone. But you're there with them to scaffold and support them through continuous feedback and both the giving and receiving of that feedback so that you know where to direct that deliberate practice next. It requires us and the learner to work together to define a goal towards which we strive. It also requires that we set the environment up so that the learner can focus on just that particular content, skill, or understanding, blocking out the irrelevant or the distracting information. And last and certainly not least, it requires us and the learner to put together a mental model, a way of thinking about what experts or what success looks like. In other words, if I were to solve this problem successfully, if I were to read this text successfully, if I were to describe this concept successfully, what would that look like? That paired with the performance or the learning goal, along with that feedback in an environment that blocks out distractors, allows me to not do practice for the sake of being perfect, but practice for the sake of progress. As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. It's not exactly true. Practice makes progress if it's deliberate practice.